I want to start this evening with a tutorial. A story, a tutorial involving a man by the name of Russell Brand. I'll also veer and merge that into President Trump. How people do not want to hear the truth. How people get themselves into trouble. How those individuals will be ultimately targeted. Those who find themselves going against the grain, especially as the elections start. If you think that coming out against the usual powers that be is going to be countenanced or allowed, you are out of your minds. I want to talk to you about this. I want to discuss with you first and foremost, and let me say welcome, welcome, welcome. We started at 8 p.m. Mrs. L and I had a little bit of a later date night. We went to see Equalizer 3, which I loved. It was bloody. It was violent. It was wonderful. Mrs. L was saying, "What is this? What is this? This is Denzel. What? Really good. It's really, really good." So anyway, we'll talk about that. But first, dear friends, thank you so much for being a part of this. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget our sponsors. Let me say before we get going, because we're going to be talking a lot about survival. We're going to be talking about a lot of things that are happening, that you better be paying attention about and regarding and with. And that is especially as to the upcoming elections and how people are going to start getting real scared. And when people get scared, they will unleash torrents of shisa towards and against you. And that's why, dear friends, I am telling you now, while you can, while you are smart, and the reason why you understand this is that you have never run from reality. You have never run from fear. But I am telling you, this is the most important thing in the world for me to tell you. And that is simply that now is the time for you. Let me do this here. Now is the time for you. Let me fix this right now. There we go. I'm going to fix my microphone. And there we go with that. How about that? That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good, don't it? It sure do. It sure do. Anyway, I want to remind you of something called preparewithlionel.com. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this. I'm not going to explain to you the problems that are associated with this. What happens when food and problems arise, when the you-know-what hits the fan, and when you are going to be able to need to go maybe a week or two because stores are closed. Let me just cut to the chase. We're not talking about food going away. We're not talking about no more wheat. We're talking about food not being available because stores will close, because they will be closed, because of some panic, something that sets people off. And whether it's because of, I don't know what you want to call it, whether it's because of lightning or tornadoes or riots or martial law or who knows what supply chain, I am telling you, especially when certain people get upset, the best way to make you comply and to understand perhaps the lack of sagacity of changing order is to freak you out and shut things down. So Prepare with Lionel is the place to go. Save $200 off a 3-month emergency food kit. Let me just say one more thing. We're not talking about a trinket. We're not talking about something. Hey, that'd be nice. I think, you know what, Nani, when are we gonna, no. Let's get a fire pit. No, this isn't a fire pit. This is called survival. Preparewithlionel.com. Save $200 off a 3-month emergency food order. Thank you, dear friends. Now let's get down to business. Let's talk about Russell Brand. Did you hear how do you think Russell Brand's handling his case so far? How do you think? Let me just ask you right off the bat. How do you think Trump's doing? How do you think anybody's doing? Does anybody know what they're doing anymore? No. But let's talk about Russell Brand. Any big Russell Brand fans on here? Anybody? Do you find Russell Brand? I kind of like his style. I don't know anything about these allegations. Do you like it? Do you think there's any chance of Russell Brand being guilty of whatever the hell it is? Now, let me tell you something. I love this. Our good friend Bill says, hearsay. Bill, I don't want to break it to you, my friend, but everything is hearsay. Whenever you pick up the phone and call up the cops and say, hey, somebody broke in, and the police show up, well, they're responding to hearsay. And if somebody says to you that Russell Brand attacked me, molested me, did whatever, yes, he is. Somebody said he's hard to listen to. Oh, I find him exceedingly hard. Between his teeth and Ricky Gervais, dear God, what the? Imagine that guy attacking you. The way they say, I think, what is that about? What is with these TH is F? I think, you think. What is that? I guess that's why they call Keith Richards Keith. But let me start off the fact. But you bring up a very good point. You said it's hearsay. Yes. What is hearsay? What does that mean? It's a very good point. If somebody says you did this, I don't know how many years ago, that's the way it starts. Now, first of all, let's start off with something. We don't know anything that happened. Okay? Number one, we don't know anything that happened. Number two, why do these things take so long sometimes to come about? Why? Question number one. What took you so long? Answer number one. I told people, but they didn't listen. That could be an answer. I went to them and I told them. They didn't listen to me. That could be an answer. That could be a doggone good answer. I went to the cops and nobody paid attention. Somebody writes, let me give you, this is very good. Let's do this. No, Russell has been exposing and talking about things the governments and bankers and WF and UN agendas. So they need to send him a scare tactic to warn him off and hide its same old smearing. Do you think Russell Brand has been exposing anything that others haven't? Do you think Russell Brand knows anything? Do you think Russell Brand is going to bring an end to the deep state and whatever? Are you kidding me? Russell Brand? He did it? He's the one? Russell Brand? This guy's gonna. You think Klaus Schwab says, oh my God, we have bad news. The Russell Brand is talking about us. I'm doing a Greta Thunberg here. How dare you? We must do everything to stop him. He's going to bring us down. The Russell Brand. With the teeth and the whole thing, and the hair and the thing, the British. We must stop him. You gotta be kidding me. Come on. Come on. Russell Brand. Now, do you think that they brought this stuff up? That's out there? Do you think they're making this up? Now let me explain to me. I don't even know what the accusations are. Something about a 16-year-old. Now, what is the legal? Yeah, whatever happened, he was made to Katy Perry or what? Wasn't that? Okay, legal age of consent in the UK. Let's see what it is. 16. The age of consent in England and Wales is 16. This is the age when young people of any sex, gender, or sexual orientation can legally consent to taking part in sexual activity. Okay, so is that important? Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I'm not even sure. Don't really know about that. But that's good to know. It was 12? Oh my God. Yeah, 1275. Okay, fine. So anyway, so come on. So please, the four women admit to coming forward after being contacted by media outlets regarding their past interaction with a brand. Sounds like a witch hunt to me. 6.5 million following him. Okay. Edie, with all due respect, and we love you, Edie. So what? 6.5 million. 6.5 million following everybody. 6.5 million. Edie brings up a good thing. May I ask you a question, class? Do you think the 6.5 million care what he says just because they follow him? Tiny Tim, he's dead. Herbert Corey, I believe his name was, had probably more people following him then. Does that mean anything? I'm serious. He had 6.5 million. Do you think that Joe Rogan, because 50 million people listen to Joe Rogan, people follow Joe Rogan, or do they just listen to Joe Rogan? Do you know how many churches there are in the world? More than you can imagine. Do you know how many Christians there are in the world? More than you can imagine. Do you know how many Muslims and people who are sworn to follow? Let me give you the question. Hang on, listen to this. Number of Christians worldwide. Now, hang on. 2,600,000,000. This is for mid-year 2023 Christian population. 2.6 billion. Muslims, probably 1.5. 1.8 billion. Okay, so that's about 4.5, let's say 4.5 billion people. Now listen to me. Listen to me carefully. 4.5 billion people following the holy word, okay, of something. And the world is so miserable and horrible with 4 billion people. World population is 7.8, let's say 8 billion, okay? So we got half of the world, over half the world has Christ and I guess Muhammad or Islam have 4.5 billion followers, devout followers, and the world is going to shite. Nobody's nice. Nobody's doing anything. It's not helping anything. Do you think people are going to say, we can't do it that way? We're Christians, we're Muslim, we're Jews. Jews. I forgot that, just for the hell of it, so that people don't think. Jewish population. The worldwide Jewish population is 25.5 million worldwide? No, that's it? Yep, 25.5 million. Okay, throw that in there. So let me go back to Edie's question. Edie brought up a good point. He's got whatever million people. What difference does it make? Why do we say that? Joe Rogan's got this. They want to get Joe Rogan. Get Joe Rogan for what? They want to get people just because they can. They want to get him to shut other people down. Not because Russell Brand is leading this revolution, because Russell Brand hasn't said anything that you and I haven't said a million times. Russell Brand is so late to this. And I think, and I can't do that Cockney, whatever the thing is, but I believe that there's a global conspiracy of banksters who cobbled together graft, and it's disgusting. Thanks for clearing that up, Russell. We didn't know that. Global banking conspiracies, World Economic Forum, in order to form a form of climate change. Please. So why do you think they're doing this? How about it's true? And how about people hate him? And how about, you know who's next? Ashton Kutcher. Why Ashton Kutcher? I don't know. I don't know. Danny Masterson. Why did they go after Danny Masterson? How long ago did those rapes purportedly occur? 20 years ago. Wait a minute. Come on now, conspirators. Let me ask you a question. Why are they doing this? Why? Why? You always have a good reason. The reason why is because you always know why. Why? Russell is a member of the choir. I don't know. People don't think. How about John Lennon? Who really wanted him silenced? Oh, please. The FBI. You don't know John Lennon? Somebody, are you serious? J. Edgar Hoover? The way he, oh my God, they were gonna deport him. Come on. Now, ask John Lennon. Now, that's the story. Do you think that maybe all of a sudden there are the white hats? What? You know, the white hats. People who come together, who have been a part of this thing for the longest time. People who all of a sudden find themselves saying, we're the good guys. And we're going to do something for the first time ever. And we're going to do something. We're going to do something. We are going to show the world that the good guys are going to win. You ever think about that? You ever think about that? You ever think about maybe that? You ever think about maybe like, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Huh. Maybe. That's a good one. Why all of a sudden? Why? What? Did you know that Ashton Kutcher? Why? Do you know? And by the way, I am not at liberty. I am not at liberty to bring up things like Ashton Kutcher and people like Robert De Niro and everybody throughout the years. You know, and I know people like Robert De Niro and all these other people, but you know, and I wish I could tell you this, but I can't. I never feel, and the reason why I don't do it is I don't have enough information. But we have, oh my God, we have access to so much great intel. And it's like one of these things because of the people that we know who say, well, you know that. It's like, yeah, I know that. They know that. But it's not at the level yet where you can, say things. Thank God. Let me just stop for a second before I continue. You know, I've told you this for the longest time. Do you know what? If I could go back and there were no statutes of limitation, Warren Beatty, Jack Nicholson, John Phillips, go rocking, the Led Zeppelin, the Stones, the Beatles, just go back into this debauched world of Hollywood. Oh my God, Shirley Temple. The actresses now who were sold by stage door mothers who were saying, here, take my daughter, make her a star. Here, Mr. Movie Mogul, take my daughter, take them. It's enough to freak you out. Russell Brand is not even on the radar. So we will never understand. First of all, you're missing the point. Why do they want Russell Brand? Why do they want Russell Brand? Why? You're missing the point. You're missing the point. By the way, there is no Me Too anymore. There is no Me Too. There is no Me Too. It never was a Me Too. And what they did to Harvey Weinstein, that was a pile-on. This guy was railroaded. And I don't care. No, he was a dirtbag. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve his day in court. But similar fact evidence, no. So let me ask you again. Why do you think they're going after? Are they going after him? He's a star. And all of a sudden, it's if this makes sense. You understand this? Somebody said, look at this. Lionel, you are picking on a beloved man. Just saying. I don't want to listen to you picking on him. He's doing the best he can. I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm not picking on him, and I don't even know who you're talking about. Please, for the love of God, would you please be more specific when you tell me, when you excoriate me about what I'm doing? Who's he? We've only mentioned 40 he's so far. Who he? He. There you go again. Don't talk about him. Who? The person you're talking about. I've been talking for 21 minutes about everyone. Which he do you mean? There you go again. What? He's beloved. Who's beloved? Dear God, please be. I don't know what I'm writing. I don't know. I'm sitting here at my keyboard and you're talking about him. Who? That person. The whatever. I just love to be upset. Now listen. First and foremost, they know who he is. And if somebody can say, hey, here's a story that can tear, let's go through this. Go through the people who have been they love to just bring up somebody and destroy him. Wait a minute, Sparky's got the word. Hang on, whoa, Bill. Russell tells the truth and has a successful show. So what? Sparky, so what? $2? It's beneath you. But thank you. What does that mean? He has a successful show and he speaks the truth. What? Yes. Hello? Yes. Listen, I want you to drag out the lies. Can we libel Russell Brand? Yes. Why? Well, he's got a successful show and he speaks the truth. Good enough for you? I'm on it, boss. Yes. Bring out these women. Yes. Have them fabricate this. Yes. Why? Well, because he speaks the truth. It's Russell Brand, for God's sakes. Yes. He's very popular. Hang him. What do you say? Good. That's right. Yes. Make it up. Okay. He was calling out the left. That's why. That's why, Danny. He's calling out Donnie. Sorry, Donnie. Listen, we got to get Donnie. Why? He's calling out the left. What do you mean? Donnie. We got to call Donnie. Donnie's calling out the left. We're going to get it. We're going to get him. We're going to get him. How do we do that? We're going to bring out these women who say he attacked him. But there's no women who attacked him. Oh, damn. You're right about that. What about I don't know, maybe who else is a good one? What about Joe Rogan? Yeah, let's get Joe Rogan. Well, there's no women who say he bothered him. What do you mean? There's no women. Don't you understand? He's Joe Rogan. I know he's Joe Rogan, but there's no women who are saying at least we can't find any. We'll make them up. We can't make them up. These women who are going to come forward are saying, I'm not making this, or they're going to claim it. That's not the point. You see where you're going with this? You get into the same thing, and I love you to death. Either it's a distraction. They're doing it because you feel, okay, that's part of it. But here's the best part. If Russell Brand, whatever he did, right, wrong, good, bad, some of these stories about where people were young. Did you see this moron? Wait a minute, Sparky is up to 5 now. Sparky's upset. He's up to 5. He says, also, if they bag a star, it has more impact, or would be to be. And if they bag a star, it has more impact on would-be truth tellers. Yeah, would-be truth tellers who have a bunch of women who can come forward. Now, did you hear? By the way, Sparky, did you hear what Russell Brand said? Like an idiot. He's like a Trump. Why? Because Trump starts defending himself instead of saying, "Oh my gosh." Russell Brand says, "Listen, I just want you to know they're going to be charged. Now, I just want you to hear from me. There was a time in my life when I was, hang on. when I was a bit promiscuous. Hang on, Russell. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Russell Brand's Rusty Rockets. Russell Brand's speech. Russell Brand's a statement on accusation. I want to get his actual words. Oh, here we go. Vanity Fair. The relationships that I had, I'm giving it very more of a posh. The relationships that I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent, and I'm being transparent about it now. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous consensual conduct in the past. Let's see if we got a better one here. No. Okay. Stupid. Oh, look at this one. Here's a good one. Martha Mills brings a good one. Look at Andrew Tate compared to Russell Brand. Is anyone allowed to gain some wisdom during his or her lifetime without being thrown to the proverbial lions? Or is that the price of fame? Excuse me. Just kind of crazy as it is, do you think that any of this might be true? What is with Andrew Tate? Would you please tell me, am I missing something? What is your love affair with Andrew Tate? Do you have any? I wouldn't get near that guy for all. What is with Andrew Tate? He's like a Svengali. I don't understand it. Do you? Now, I don't know any of the stories. Would you let your daughter anywhere near Andrew Tate? Is that the guy you want to get to know? If you had to interview all the people, if you were Tucker Carlson and you could interview anybody you want, would you want Andrew Tate? I saw some old, did I see that I'm not going to go through it. I don't understand it. The Matrix got Andrew. Dear God, you were the most gullible people I've ever met in my life. Do you think everything? No, let me explain a bit. Do you think that everything is just contrived? Do you? Do you think it's just there's nothing there? Do you think? No. Do you really think so? I mean, things can be kind of overlooked, but the idea that something is like, there's no such thing. Look, let me go back to what I'm saying, because I don't want to ruin your night, because you and I don't see it the same way. First and foremost, I would sit there if I was called in to help Mr. Brand as a defense lawyer, because I have no problem with that. I have no problem with defending anybody who is charged with a criminal offense. I'm going to say, first of all, you're going to shut up. No. You don't understand. You're going to say nothing. You're not going to talk about your promiscuous past. No. Don't even admit, don't give people the chance to say anything. Don't talk about your promiscuous past, you idiot. You say nothing. They have to make the allegations. You may never say anything. You're not going to say anything in the press. You're not going to say anything to the police. You're not going to say anything on Twitter. You're going to keep your mouth shut, and you're going to let them lay the case out, because you genius, you think you're brilliant, and there is nothing worse than somebody who thinks they're brilliant. And the British always have this propensity for thinking they're brilliant. I'm sorry, it's the way we treat them. You see, when someone speaks with a British accent, isn't he smart? Christopher Hitchens was brilliant. No, he was. Did you hear the stuff he said? If you read it, you say, who said this? Christopher Hitchens. Oh, well, say no more. Listen, Rusty Rockets, you're going to shut your trap. Sit back and let everybody play it out. Do you know that? I'm not saying anything. Why? Because if I'm the cops and I've got some little holes to let's say I've got a problem with them meeting or knowing each other or something, some little problem with the factual basis. And you get numbnuts to start speaking, he may just clarify something. He may open up everything. He may, oh, there he goes. Okay, well, I admit that I did pick her up. Aha, we didn't know that. You've never said that. Thank you. What? Thank you. You just cinched it because we couldn't prove that you ever, let's say hypothetically, and now you said it because you're an idiot, because you have to speak, because you're smarter than everybody. It's called the Fifth Amendment. Now we're getting somewhere. Christopher Owen went out on the hill in the honey jar, stuck in his nose. Thank you, Christopher. Christopher says nothing, has nothing to say. And that's the way I like Christopher. Just have to. Christopher, thank you, buddy boy. You're okay in my book. Look at this. Look at this. Where? I have no idea. Okay, now. Rusty, sit down. No comment. Say it. No comment. Mr. Brand has nothing to say. We're going to go to, he's got a comedy thing. Say nothing. Say nothing. People will show up. Don't talk about anything. Don't talk about how, this is the price to pay. Nothing. It's their story. Let them tell you. What are you? You see those two women who were laughing up at you? Yes. I want you to go in and respond to it. What? Respond to them laughing. I don't know what they're saying. Aha. You don't respond to it. You say nothing. It's up to them. Let them establish it. You're not going to say anything. You're not going to say whether you know anybody, who these people are, your promiscuous past. And nobody's going to do, well, I was pretty effed up in the old days with the heroin and the this and that, the blah, blah, blah. And I was a pretty bad guy. Shut up. FBI and ATF often make a big splash on the high-profile people to make it look like they're actually worthwhile. Well, Sparky, I don't have to tell you this, but you do know since the day of J. Edgar Hoover and Anslinger, from the days of Hearst and Marshall Dillon and Wyatt Earp, there's this tendency in Thomas Dewey and Rudy Giuliani, and yeah. This is the thing I do not understand. This is the thing I do not understand. You don't respond to anything. Let me give you an example of something. Maybe by analogy, and maybe this might help just a little bit. Years ago, when somebody said to me, well, there's a story about, I don't know, something about 9/11. I forget what it was. And I said, for example, whether it's 9/11, JFK, COVID, Vietnam, whatever it is. And somebody says to you, well, such and such happened. J.D. Tippit, Lee Harvey Oswald, the Tonkin Gulf, whatever. And you say, I don't believe that. And then they turn around and say, oh, yeah? Well, then what happened then? Excuse me, this is your story. You tell me. I don't have to tell you what happened. Oh, yeah, so where are all those people? What? All those people that were lost. I don't know. This is your story. Oh, yeah, well, where'd they go? Where'd who go? The people. What people? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who people there are. I don't know this story. I don't know this story. This is one of those things I'll never forget. Whether it's anything, whether it's when 9/11 first happened, people said, how many people? What about the people who were dead? Who's dead? A lot of people were. Most of the people, their bodies were never even found. I don't know who's, I don't, it's a terrible story. Don't ask me about it. It's not my story. You tell me. I don't know this. So Russell Brand has to keep his mouth shut and say, I don't know who these people are. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, what about the time when this girl was 16 years old and claimed that you did it? I'm not answering. Let her do it. Let her say it. Shut up. If it's true, keep your mouth shut. What are you going to say? And you're so stupid because you think you're so smart. Let people come up with their own story. And by the way, what was Ashton Kutcher thinking when he writes letters of support for a guy accused or convicted of rape? I mean, do you follow this? So let me ask you. You think, don't you, that they got him because he said things about COVID and he's pro-Trump and that's it. You think that's why they did it, right? You think so? Do you think that's why they did it? Do you think that's why they did it? Are you saying they made it up or that's why they did it? Is that what you're saying? Russell is explaining on Rumble. Oh, no. Let me ask you this. Let's assume there was a statement made or allegations made about Oprah. Would it ever make the light of day? Never. I don't care what she did. I don't care if she was involved in My Lai, the Manson murder. I don't care what it is. Oprah is untouchable. Except, what about, honey, except, what did she do recently that made me think, uh-oh, now she did it? Well, Lahaina is one thing. Oh, yeah, she got away. She did something before. Meghan. When she put Meghan Markle on to say that the royal family was racist, I thought, uh-oh. If they pick up the phone and say, that's it. Because Oprah is one of the chosen people. Oprah, you say, well, she's a billionaire. Yeah, right. Okay, fine. Okay. Please. They tell it. The moment that's it. She's done. We just saw something. She's making a new movie now, The Color Purple Revisited, right? With Oprah Winfrey, Steven Spielberg. Who else? Quincy Jones with the music. Quincy Jones, yeah. But they're doing Color Purple again. Okay, fine. You know what I also saw, which is absolutely heresy, sacrilege, is they're making a new Exorcist. Oh no! Though it looks kind of good. It looks really cheesy because people believe there's a devil still. The year 2023, people believe there's a dude called the devil who says, let's see, oh, 2 little girls? Yeah. I like to call attention to myself. I have these 2 little girls like this. Oh, thank you, devil. Thank you. Why are you doing this? Because I'm evil. This isn't evil. This is stupid. They call attention to themselves. They lock the girls up. They get exercise. I mean, I don't understand. Why don't you go to a leader of a country or maybe I don't understand it. I don't understand the devil thing. I don't understand any of this stuff. I live in a world where I don't understand anything. But you see, you know who Russell Brand is? Russell Brand is just like Trump. Trump's the only guy who's got four indictments planned for pending, and he goes and he talks about them. Well, I didn't do that. Shut up! What are you talking about? They're like this. There's Jack Smith. Did you hear what he said about that? Yeah. Write that down. Okay. Keep talking. Keep talking. He should say, no comment. It's their case, not mine. I don't know anything about this. Let them talk about it. Not Trump. No. And then people say, well, you know, his numbers go up. Excuse me? What was that again? Yeah, his numbers go up with Republicans. So what? What about with the rest of the country? What about with the undecided? Well, it's a different story. They keep repeating the same thing. His numbers are going up. Look, I've been through this a million times. And people get so upset with me. And I want the guy to win. He goes on that stupid Meghan Kelly show, and he talks, he's spewing this. What are you talking? Why are you doing this? Why are you going on this show? You know why? Because he's hooked. He's kind of smitten by these women. He thinks it's like sexy or something, or maybe who knows? Or he just loves publicity, or he's crazy. He's got to go out and tell people what he wants to do. But like Russell Brand, he's going to talk his way out of it. Oh no, you don't understand. Oh no, they stole the election. Are you still talking about the election? Are you still talking about this election? Does anybody here listen? Do me a favor. Is there do you hear what I'm saying? Tell me you hear what I'm saying. Tell me I'm making sense. Well, excuse me. Don't tell me I'm not making sense. Tell me I'm not just. Tell me the mic's not off. Here she is, Edie Crowley, Mr. L, off topic. I like off topic. But parallel Bobby K. Jr.'s talks excessively about being in recovery for drug addiction. But parallel Bobby Kennedy? Well, I don't think Bobby Kennedy is trying to maybe use his drug addiction as an excuse for anything. That's all I'm saying. Listen, can I just go on the record regarding drug addiction? Do me a favor. Shut up. I don't want to hear about I'm 30 days sober. Shut up. What are you, the first person to stop drinking? I'm sober and I'm okay. Thank you. What do you want? Applause? You stopped killing yourself. Good. Good for you. Now shut up. People do it all the time. They're not famous. There are people going right now as we speak. I'll bet you they're in the basement of some church or someone drinking bad coffee and talking to each other, trying to get through the day. Nobody hears them. They don't walk up to the restaurant. I'm 30 days. I'm a year sober. Look, it's great that you're doing it, but don't use this to sell your image or something. I know people who all they ever talk about is the fact that they used to be a drug addict. Fine. You're not supposed to be an alcoholic. It's great that you did this, but you're not supposed to be a drug addict. Thank you. I lost 150 pounds. You're not supposed to. Good for you. You saved yourself. Good. You want to talk about something, Russell? You want to talk about something? Let's talk about single moms who tried to get through, who have been left, who have been abandoned. All right. Don't give me this bullshit about your drugs or whatever. Please. I've had it. Now let's talk about anybody else for that matter. Hollywood is vile, disgusting, rancid, horrible. Music to an extent, but Hollywood has been like this. And the problem is because of you and your hero worship. And I'm pointing the finger at you because you love these people. I swear to God, we've got the biggest bunch of jadrules all of a sudden, and it's worse. It's worse now. Let me tell you why. Good question. In the old days, somebody had to make a movie. They had to become famous. They had to be, they had to make a movie, do something of note or renown in order to be famous. Okay, great. They had to make albums. The Beatles happened to be pretty doggone good at that songwriting. And they had a lot of hits, and the Stones and Zeppelin and all that. And they actually did something. They really were good at that. They really, honest to God, did something. And you can say what you want about it. Remember the Kirk Douglas stories? Oh, jeez. Where have you been? Oh my God. Anyway, and the Bob Hope stories? You are aware, right? Okay. But Bob Hope happened to be a star and a movie star and famous and rich, owns all of California, along with Gene Autry. And these people did something. Okay. Now, do you know what you got to do today? Nothing. With all due respect, and I love him, and I think it's a great guy, Joe Rogan. What does he do? I don't know. What does Joe Rogan do? Why is Joe Rogan? What did Joe Rogan do that was that great? Listen, that's okay. But you know, you hit it right. You have a show, and I'm holding up my wireless mic for whatever reason. I don't know why. You have a great show, and you're in, and you're famous. Our friend Roseanne, she happened to be one of the biggest TV stars ever. I think her fame is okay. Okay. I think her fame is important. She did something. She's in the panoply, the pantheon, I should say, of television stars. She, of women, Mary Tyler Moore and Lucille Ball, she was it. She did something. What does Candace Owens do? I don't know. What is that? Megyn Kelly? I don't know. They're on TV. But what did they do? Well, they were famous. Doing what? Saying stuff. Okay. And with all due respect, who the hell is Russell Brand? Why do you think, why is he so important to you? And I'm dead serious about this. I really mean this. Because I don't have these heroes like you. And don't get me started. Number one, so help me God, I don't understand. Jordan Peterson. So I just gave up on that. I just said, look, you think whatever you want. I don't care. The people that I think should be through the roof are Mearsheimer and oh my God. And we should, I still listen. Most of the people I like are dead. Bill Buckley, Milton Friedman. I just go, but Gore Vidal, I could probably listen to forever. He said so much. I thought about it. Where are we today? Who is Russell Brand? I know he's got followers. I understand this. But what is the matter with you? Are you so bereft of guidance? Has Russell Brand ever told you something where you said, I've never thought of that? Please tell me. Has Russell Brand ever made you think something I never thought about that before? If you want to talk about somebody today, I think Lex Friedman, the people that I've heard who blew my mind are people involved who, scientists and, Ed Witten and Jesus. Whoa. And the artificial intelligence people and the deep thinkers and oh my, this is off the charts. And listen to philosophers. Go back a little bit. This is where these are the people. These were the intellects. These were the intellectuals. Who do you have today? Ann Coulter? Candace Owens? Russell Brand? Are you kidding? Ben Shapiro? Tell me something that anybody's told you where you said, I never thought of that. As opposed to somebody who's just reaffirming the obvious. This is where we are today. And numbers beget numbers. And look, it's a free country. You can do whatever you want. But these are some of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. They don't say anything. The pioneers of thought, political scientists. Somebody called me here. They say, hey, somebody, who was it? Somebody said, hey, somebody's on Newsmax. What? Yeah. He's going to be on Newsmax. Who's on News? What? Let me tell you something. When you were laying all that directed energy weapon stuff on me regarding Lahaina, at least it made me think. Well, you know what? Maybe there's something to do. At least, as opposed to, oh, here we go. Here we go again. The deep state. Okay, I understand it. And they want to stop Trump because, okay, I understand. All right, I know. People confuse true with something that's innovative. You know what I mean? Innovative. That's all. Sparky says Orson Welles was pretty cool. Orson Welles was unbelievable. And Orson Welles was the saddest thing because after Citizen Kane, and he was a genius. A genius. Einstein, after relativity, do you know the fighting going on right now with the world of physics and science? Do you know one of the greatest debates that's going on right now is the anti-Darwin, the intelligent design, God arguments that are being interposed and being suggested regarding this. This is the most incredible stuff in the world. This blows my mind. But Russell Brand, because he was on Meager and Joe, what? Dear God, we are so bereft. Let me try this again. And I want you to listen to me. We're going to lose again in 2020 unless we get our heads out of our cloaca and pay attention. You know what I'm saying there, right? You recognize what I'm saying. Do you think Trump knows what he's doing? Does he have any idea what he's doing? Is there anything regarding politics? Does he have any idea what's going on right now? Do you have any idea? I don't understand. Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan was fascinating. Carl Sagan, Tim, was a hack. He was a gatekeeper, anti-UFO, anti-extraterrestrial. He was into this climate change horse shite that he was doing this crap before. David Attenborough, great until he starts that. Absolutely. Do you understand what's happening? Who are the real? Tell me, there was a time when we had Buckley where he would have Mortimer Adler on. Mortimer Adler talking about doing shows on PBS. Huge. How to read. How to speak in public. The death of intellectualism. There are these people. I got a hand to do. You know what? To his credit, Victor Davis Hanson. Even though he says stuff that's just insane, he thinks Trump has a Queen's accent. He says nuclear, but he might be the closest thing to an intellectual, maybe that we've seen, who, is there was something in the old days when people would talk about, believe it or not, if you look at, I don't even care for this conservatism, but there was a time when people at least thought about it. They thought about something bigger than just the immediate. And Russell Brand, he can't do it. He can't be quiet. Can't do it. What is the number one thing that we have to fix in this world? What is the thing that we have to do? I have to figure out how to get people smarter. I have to figure out a way to get people to read things on their own, to research things on their own. I have to get people to not sit back and let everybody define for them their worldview. That's all. I need to figure a way to get people to focus on this. Somebody said, was it during Charlie Rose? Charlie Rose was wonderful. Charlie Rose turned out to be another one of these leches. I don't understand this. When you're When you're that famous, you don't have to you don't have to upset people. Harry's got a good point. Harry says, Lionel, missing the overall point is political awareness that's being brought to people who would otherwise be only speaking up celebrity stuff. Lionel, a bit limited or off today. Political awareness about what? What are you talking about? Harry, you think this is political awareness? Political awareness about what? What are you talking about? You think America is politically aware? Aware of what? About politics? That's it. This is incredible. Chris says, I disagree. Today, the one who was, I disagree, L. Today, the one who has the podium has charisma plus truth in the message. I don't know what that means. With all due respect, Christopher, that's just obvious. That's not saying anything. You want truth? I don't want to hear truth. I know what the truth is. I don't want to have somebody tell me that, and it's important that we do a lot to make the world better. That's not what I want. I don't want the truth. I know what the truth is. I want to say, what are you going to do and how are you going to fix things? Not repeating the truth. You're in awe of these prophets who say nothing. Look at this. Hang on a minute. Where is it? Brand spread awareness. Lionel doesn't even know what this show is about, yet he passes judgment. Brand spread awareness. Okay, that's fine. Well, one thing he should be aware of is his own guilt, and he should shut up. And with all due respect, Salty, that was so minuscule. This is sad. If you think, and I mean this, and maybe your life was so bereft, so devoid, so absent, so vacant, so without insight, perspective, truth. Maybe you were living for the longest time on an island or in a cave, and Russell Brand provided this. I never thought of this. If he was your idea of scintillating awareness, which is fine, we need to talk. I want to help you. I want to help you. This guy was the purveyor of no shite obviousness. And it's wonderful, but seriously, it's almost like you're kidding me. And maybe, and let me ask you something. What did you do when you heard it? How did it propel you to do something? How did he propel you? Because nobody's voting or anything. Right now, as Sparky says, Charlie Rose interviewed Assad establishment, thought that it humanized Assad too much. Oh, yeah. That's be the first person I'm going to talk to. Hafiz al-Assad and half-ass and whatever. Remember, those are Alawites, and they were completely different. Remember their connection between Assad and the Russians because of Tartus, which was their port, the only port. It was a Russian port. Do you really mean to tell me? Let me just seriously, and I mean this. Are you telling me that your life? I mean, maybe it was, and maybe I'm missing the point. And if it was, well, good for you. But are you saying that Russell Brand actually illuminated this man, this guy, provided that? Oh, I didn't understand it. He turned the light on. Russell Brand? Are you kidding me? It's like when I hear people. When I hear Jordan Peterson, I never knew about pronouns like he did. And Ben Ship, oh my God. Okay. All right. Can we go a little bit more into this? Would you like to go a little bit further? No, I'm going to stick with Russell Brand. I just like this truth stuff. Okay, all right. And the big government side with them in the banks. Okay, good. Now, how does this translate into a real life awareness of anything? Tell me the one thing. Tell me. This goes to everybody listening right now. Please tell me that one thing where you thought, I never thought about that before. I never understood this. Please tell me. Please tell me the last time you said, I never knew this. I have a new way of thinking now. I didn't know this. Tell me. Who? Tell me. Jen says, it wasn't that he turned a light on, more like Russell articulates what people think, feel, and can't find the words. He isn't a moral authority. Okay. All right. All right. I guess that's all right. Who speaks to you regarding? I'll tell you one right now. Who is an absolute genius in terms of realism and the like is John Mearsheimer. John Mearsheimer, especially when it comes to Ukraine, but also you learn about just history, and you cannot possibly understand what's happening now regarding Russia and Ukraine without understanding kind of where things are. And then if you want to hear this opposite, this anti-Putin drivel, listen to Kotkin, whose whole thing is Stalin, and the great Stephen Cohen, who was. Let me tell you one thing. I'll tell you one group that I think is worth everything. People like the Duran, Judge Napolitano, people who at least tell me that I don't know these things. They don't talk about evil and, the military-industrial complex. Yeah. They actually I want to know specifics about things. And the worst is during COVID. Oh my God, we could have learned so much. We could have learned so much about that, but we didn't. You understand this? Sparky says, Russell gets the word out to normies. Okay. And do you think the world is somehow better off with that? Maybe, I guess, sort of. How big do you think this thing is? How big do you think this thing is? What is the effect? How has the world changed? How is anything better? He's only getting the word to people that agree with him. Do you think Russell Brand has had any effect on the left? Do you think they've had anything? Do you think people who are searching for some kind of, I don't know, leftist perspective? I have no idea. I tried more than anything to listen to Noam Chomsky, and I just can't get through it. Especially now. Now it's like, you know how he reminds me of like they found a mountain man somewhere, or one of these mummies that they're trying to like animate. I try, maybe, perhaps. There's some wonderful. I'm trying to think. These two fellows. I think it was. I'll get their names. Both of them African American. Educators, academicians talking about that. Thomas Sowell, whatever, were very good as well. Those were, because I learned something. But those are very, very good. Different perspectives I've never really thought about. I never really, as opposed to just telling me things I know. That's all. I want to learn something. I want to say, I never thought about that before. I did not understand that before. I did not know this. And let me tell you something right now. The biggest story, the biggest issue, the biggest existential threat that poses that we face in this country right now as we speak is the potential of artificial intelligence, and nobody's even remotely, including Russell. Maybe Russell Brand has said it. I don't know. Christopher says, random history facts. The Russian Tsar, British King, and German Kaiser, all leaders of World War I, were all related to each other through Queen Victoria. That's true. And remember how the Tsar, and thank you, by the way, Christopher, the Tsar, by the way, that's through consanguinity. The Tsar was basically not, his cousin here, I forget which one, basically turned his back, and they could have saved them. And, you remember how also cousin Willie was Kaiser Wilhelm. Remember how the Germans, Mountbatten, they were Battenberg, and he changed it right around the time of World War I. Edward was it the Seventh? Who actually got us into World War I? Queen Victoria's son. And also one of the things which is so interesting, if you look at how one of the most dastardly fellows of all time, and you'll never understand this unless you look at history, is how Winston Churchill, using Tertius Gaudens, the game theory, basically brought us, had to configure us into World War II. And anyway, that'll blow your mind. That history will blow your mind. Blow your mind. Absolutely the greatest stuff in the world. In the world. And the history is what's the most interesting. And the history is not over with. The history just continues right at this moment. It's incredibly fascinating. How about the notion of real? Anyway, I don't want people to tell me stuff I already know. And isn't it nice if we have somebody who say, "Oh, that's good. That's good. He's bringing things up that are whatever it is." But I will tell you this much, and I want you to understand something. Unless and until everybody gets to own social media equally, unless and until social media are considered to be a utility, like a phone dial tone or something, we will never have anything remotely even we will never get. Oh, I just got this story. Look at this. Let me stop you right now. I found this interesting. Jan Wenner removed from rock and roll board after Times interview. Did you see this one? Jan Wenner removed. Oh, for the love of God. Everything's a damn paywall. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Just a minute. Let me see this. There we go. Just a minute. Hang on. All right. Let me log in here. Jan Wenner. Jan Wenner removed. Here we go. The Rolling Stone co-founder's exit comes a day after the New York Times published an interview in which he made widely criticized comments. Well, what did he say? Hang on a minute. More people falling. This is interesting. Regarding women. Oh, here we go. In the interview, David Marchese of the Times asked Mr. Wenner, 77, why the book included no women or people of color. Regarding women, Mr. Wenner said, just none of them were as articulate enough on this intellectual level. He remarked that Joni Mitchell was not a philosopher of rock and roll. His answer about artists of color was less direct. A black artist, Stevie Wonder genius, right? I suppose when you use the word as broad as masters, the fault is using that word. Maybe Marvin Gaye or Curtis Mayfield. I mean, they just didn't articulate at that level. Oh my God. Do you see what's happening right now? Let me stop for a second. Maybe, just maybe, somebody's trying to undo something. I don't know. But maybe in a weird way, maybe somebody's just trying and again, we tend to do this because we always think that there's some reason for this, as opposed to a series of seemingly disconnected events. But when you see people collapsing, when you see all of a sudden this one's brought down, that one's brought down, Ashton Kutcher, Ashton Kutcher, that's another one. You don't know those stories. I'm not even going to get near those, but it's so interesting. Tucker Carlson, go down the list. It's interesting. I don't know what to make of it now, but these people are, it's not that they're important, but what does this mean? The day they go after Oprah, that's the story. That's the story. And I'm telling you, and I told you this once about Oprah, and you don't listen to me because you don't have any, you don't think that the royal family is of any interest to you. That seems to be like, who cares? That's silly. Oh, no. The royal family is bigger than anything on this planet. They have more money. They have more power than anything you can touch. Bigger than the Vatican, bigger than anything, anybody. Okay. And when she decided to have Meghan Markle on to sit there and they gave him a platform, she and CBS also, I thought, oh, here we go. So that's not over with yet. We'll see that. But don't be surprised if one day they come back because they're very vicious about it. Look, I've been through this. I've been through this before. I remember when there was a time in this world where when I grew up, we actually growing up, it was really cool to know about the Vietnam War. And we used to sit around and have rap sessions before the internets. And there were people that came along that were really interesting. And people liked Lenny Bruce in the old days first. And then when Carlin came along, and they loved the fact that he was smart. And they loved that. And it was really smart. And we just, it was a different time. Today, we love dumb. And we love unimaginative. And we love people who are, instead of being smart, are brusque and brash and yell and they scream. And we are so bereft, so void, so vacant, so in need of thinking. We have no schools. We have no intellectual pursuit, no liberal arts. Nobody reads. Nobody knows about science. Nobody understands. Nobody cares. I've told you this many times. Trying to explain to people just artificial intelligence, theoretically, what it means, it's a waste of time. So if you know Russell Brand, do me a favor, get the word to him. Tell him to shut up. Just tell him to shut up. That's it. That's all. Shut up. You're only hurting yourself. Unless you just like this, unless you are so, maybe by virtue, because I am convinced of one thing, not in his case, but when people have been through alcohol or drug use, it throws an incredible imbalance sometimes into your mind, and your sense of right and wrong can be skewed drastically. So maybe you find yourself in the position of saying something stupid because you just don't know anymore. You're kind of off kilter. And maybe the love of attention is so great and so, fascinating. And some people can get away with it, and some people can't, or whatever it is. Joe Rogan, I would not be surprised if somebody one day along the line thought, let's shut him down just to teach people who's boss. Who knows? There might be an undercurrent. See, we always think that there's some group of people actually in charge of this. We don't know. Let me leave it at that, my friends. Okay. You have been wonderful. Let me just thank you for that. You have been wonderful. Let me say, Sparky, thank you. Christopher Owen, thank you. Edie Crowley, thank you as well. Christopher Shelton, thank you. Edie. Oh, look at this. Edie says, I saw someone recently regarding AI, pure panic. Unbelievable. Because it is no... oh, by the way, Sparky says, Nico House definitely is ahead of the game. Here's where I learned the weakness of ECOWAS. Okay, very good. Max Blumenthal and Aaron May of the Gray Zone and Garland Nixon are great too. I must say yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I may. Now, when I say Max Blumenthal, his coverage of BRICS and whatever, let me explain something to you. We need, I don't care about somebody's political ideology or frame of reference. I don't care if they're left or right, or it doesn't really matter to me. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. It does, however, I think it's important to at least have somebody who makes me think differently. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, folks, it's been an hour and 14 minutes. That's enough. I have so enjoyed this. You have no idea. Keep thinking. I want you to think. Challenge your position. Fight back. Keep thinking. Whatever you like, that's great. But I want to hear what you have to say. I want you to think. Think for yourself. That's all. Think for yourself. Ask questions. Formulate your own opinion. Let other people maybe open your mind. That's all. All right. So don't forget, my friends, like I told you, very, 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 very important. I can't say this any more clearly. Remember, preparewithlionel.com. Don't forget right now, preparewithlionel.com. And our friends at the wonderful folks at mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Sign up right now. Enjoy the seemingly endless list of luxuriation items and get a free gift. All right, folks, have a great time. Talk to you tomorrow. By the way, Equalizer thing, very good. Denzel, very good. See you tomorrow. Don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dead.